So hello there. So today I'll be taking a look at the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat Scorpion. First things first, we have the box. This is the classic Storm Collectibles box for their Mortal Kombat figures. So here it says ages 17 and up. Storm Collectibles 112 Action Series, even though most people found out they were mostly 1/10, or at least closer to 7-inch scale figures than they are to 6. Here it says Mortal Kombat Scorpion and a picture of Scorpion there. And on this side, it continues that said picture along with Mortal Kombat Scorpion. On the other side, it has a very nice picture of Scorpion. Same thing here, Mortal Kombat Scorpion. Their logo Storm Collectibles and the 112 Action Series thing. And on the top, it just says Mortal Kombat. On the bottom, it says Mortal Kombat Scorpion, Storm Collectibles, a warning, the barcode, and yeah. And then as for the back, it shows almost all of his accessories, a picture of him, Storm, Hive, and Warner Brothers, and a bunch of logos. And here is a little bio that you can pause and read right now. So anyway, that is it for the Storm Collectible Scorpion's box. Now let's take a look at the actual figure itself inside. And now here's Scorpion out of the box. Now for a figure that is over around 6, possibly even 7 years old, I'm not too sure, he is a figure that surprisingly still looks good. Especially the copy I got, since this was pre-owned and back in box. It still is in pretty good condition. There are some noticeable things, such as the fading black wash on the gi, and the yellow on the the shin and knee armor are not necessarily that yellow anymore, but I actually kind of like this look, the faded look a bit. Makes it look more like metal. And yeah, so here he is. He has, to be fair, he has a very basic color scheme. It's just the yellow on black. But Storm Collectibles, being as expensive and good as they are, they make it look really, really well done. So up close here we have Scorpion's face. He has the white eyes that all the ninjas feature, which does look really cool. He has this He has this yellow mask with a black, I do not know what you call those. But here, the copy on mine are a bit smudged, as you could see, on some areas. But from a distance, such as this, not really too noticeable. And I do like this style of mask compared to the other one, which we'll take a look at later. But yeah, he is a very nicely detailed figure all around. Nothing for me much to complain about. Such as even on the gloves and even on the pad on the hand and the forearm piece here, it also has some silver paint washed on there to make it look slightly used and colorized. And on the back, and the black for the leather, I'm not sure with all the pieces all around them, are a very nice black. They're a very matte black, which is to be expected, but they look really nice. They don't look messy at all. There's a very fine look and print to them, if you know what I mean. But here there are some paint that's starting to rub onto the arm, which is kind of expected, at least to me, since this figure is extremely old, and if anything I might have to get it fixed up a bit here and there. And yeah. So overall, a really nice figure. Nothing much for me to say that has not been said yet by other figure collectors, considering this thing is, like I said, very old. There's been a lot of reviews about this guy, and they've practically talked about almost everything, including the fact that Storm Collectibles, being high-end as they are, like I mentioned, also uses softer materials for some of their parts. Not everything is hard plastic. Sure, it's not like Hot Toys type or Mezco where they use soft goods, but they are very soft pieces that they don't really hinder articulation that much, actually, which is a really nice plus for me when it comes to Storm Collectibles. And yeah. And for those wondering, yes, I do own the other two versions. In fact, I actually got those way before I got this guy. I am yet to do an updated review of those. But yeah, and since they're all in box right now, since I don't have anywhere to display them, I can't really take them out for comparisons since it'll be too much of a hassle. If they were just on a shelf already, maybe I would, but not at the moment. So yeah, it's a really nice figure, and it might not be obvious from the camera since the ninjas are kind of small compared to their other lines, such as their Street Fighter line, which are much bulkier, bigger figures. These guys are much slimmer down, and even if you compare them to the MK3 Scorpion that Storm Collectibles made, these guys do look a bit smaller, but I can assure you, compare them to 6-inch figures, they're not, they look big. They may not be the tallest, but they're too bulky and are slightly taller than most 6-inch figures. So yeah, that being said, it is a very nicely detailed figure, everything I said. Nothing negative about the detailing outside of the slight paint smudges, rubs, and the fading colors, but that is to be kind of expected since this figure is very old already, especially since this one was not mint. So yeah, but that's it for the figure itself, the look. Now let's take a look at the accessories. And now these are all of Scorpion's accessories. So first we're going to start off with the flame accessory here, which looks like a rocket, a flaming rocket, which is what it is. This is for his Hellfire breath fatality, which does look really cool, I have to admit. It is just a sort of rocket shaped shooting straight down piece, which goes from orange, very dark orange, slightly reddish orange, translucent orange, and that sort of pattern. And then at the very tip here where he breathes out from, it is, how do I say this? It is translucent yellow. Then the bottom piece, which you have to attach that piece to, is mainly made of translucent orange rather than yellow. There's not much yellow except for the bits going down here, but in the crater it is a very dark orange with very translucent, not very, with really with really orange color translucency. Frick, that sounds so bad. But yeah, here it's just a very dark orange translucent color around here, with here being very dark, not really too translucent. And since I don't really use this accessory much, I'm gonna show it right off the bat. This is how you attach it. You sort of have to spin it around until you find the proper placing, and it should just hold up like that. And yeah, that's it for that accessory. So now is the I do not know what this is called. Let me check on the box real quick. It's just called a spear. So yeah, this is his spear kunai thing. Here it is. Here it looks. It's made of. It is very soft plastic. Not really soft. It is sort of stiff, sort of soft, malleable plastic. But it does look really, really cool, and does look like actual rope. It's so detailed that you could even sort of see the strands that make rope rope. And the top, it's just some blood, which does not really, at least to me, it's not too accurate. I'm not too sure why. It's just that it does not look dark enough to be blood to me, at least. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert, but when I do paint blood on certain things, I want it to be dark red. So yeah, but it still looks really cool and is a nice detail to the overall figure. And the spear is slightly bluish silver, even in person. That's not just a camera. But yeah, really, really nice piece there. And then next up is basically the exact same thing, but being shot out this time. And yeah, does look really cool. Here is the part where you hook it onto the arm, or not the arm, to the wrist area, and then plug the hand in, so it looks like he's shooting it out, and I'll show that in a bit. And then now for his masks, this is the first one, just a very basic ninja mask. It is just one color, it's just yellow, but it's so detailed that you could actually see the details that make it a mask, despite it just being, well, yellow. And I'm pretty sure this is just a product of age, but I have heard of this issue occurring in older Storm Collectibles figures, in which where the paint is starting to chip because of paint rub. You could sort of see it a bit here, but not too bad. And then here is the worst one, not the worst accessory, but here you could see a lot of the smudges on this mask, which I already did take a look at earlier, and it's also just yellow with black on it. While I do like this mask design more, I cannot deny the paint smudging, but to be fair, it does not really look horrible, especially from a distance where you don't really see it. And then here is the skull. Now the skull is really cool, as it has a jaw that you could open all the way up to that much. And this is meant to be pegged onto his head. You just remove it and plug it in. I'll show that in a bit. But it is really nicely detailed with the white base and the black wash over it with some beige. I'm not sure if that's just a wash or just part of the sculpt, but it's there. You can sort of see it here. Looks really cool, and the eye is just ashy black or charcoal black. Really nice. The inside though is just skin color though. That might actually be what this beige looking part here might just be representation of Scorpion's skin as it peels off. So yeah, really nice piece. I'll show you how to, like I said, I'll show how to put this on later. And the masks and this, I'll show all of those later. And now for his 4 sets of hands plus this 1 hand, so that makes about 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 hands in total. So first here is just a gripping hand. It's meant for the spear. As you can see, there is some. So yeah, here's just his hand. You could see some paint rubbing there. I could probably just fix that up real quick though. And so yeah, these hands are mostly the same look. They're basically the skin tone color for Mortal Kombat ninjas, which is very brown, light brownish, plus the hand pads, which are very nicely detailed. So there are, like I said, 9 of them total. 1 gripping hand, which they gave them 2, but unfortunately every ninja comes with this, and it's only just 1 every single time. 2 fist hands, which all of them come with out of the box. 2 Karate Chop hands, 2 very open splayed out hands, and 2 slightly gripping hands. So yeah, that is all his accessories. Now I'm going to show you how to put some of them on him. And here is Scorpion. So as you can see, that's what it looks like when you take off the mask. It looks very creepy, no lie. So here is just the peg. So to put it in, you just gently push it in. There, no problem. And to take it out, you sort of just pull slightly on the side or underneath, on top. And you sort of just pull very gently, and then it'll eventually come off. And for now, we're gonna put this mask on. Might leave it on for the remainder of the review. Actually, I might leave this mask on since I kind of like it now much more. There we go. This is a bit tight of a fit. And now for the hands, this is gonna be very simple. So we're gonna take his fist here. It just gets plugged in like that. And to take it out like this. And sometimes, occasionally, the peg will go. No issue, you could just pull it out, no problem. And then, whenever this happens, remember the ball joint goes into the hand. I occasionally forget that despite collecting Storm for a long time. But yeah, so for the spear, you sort of just have to put his hand out like that. This just goes right in there. Not really a tight fit around the ball joint, but there. It just goes like that. And then you take a hand, use the karate hand, or you could, I personally use these hands much more. But yeah. And then, yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention this during the accessories part, but I did grow up during the time where we were mainly using, where MK9 was the big Mortal Kombat game, and you could see it everywhere. But an accessory I technically took it from another figure. I took it from the McFarlane Scorpion, and I sort of painted blood and the handle. But here is a custom katana I gave to Scorpion. You could technically use this with any. You could do this with any katana, not just the McFarlane one. But yeah, you could just get a katana, random katana, give it to Scorpion. He works real well with it. But depending on the type of paint you use, I just use Gundam marker for this. So yeah, that's just Gundam marker gold, and it kind of stained the inside of the guy's hand. I've never had this happen with Gundam marker before, where it starts staining other parts of a figure, but this is fine since it's just inside. But yeah, there could be some paint rubbing on the type of paint you use, so do be careful. But this looks really nice with Scorpion. So yeah. So that is it for that. Now we're gonna move on to height comparisons. So here we go. Let's measure how tall Scorpion is. And Scorpion, okay, I am blind. Where's number 1? Okay, there we go. So Scorpion stands at around just 6.5 inches, nearly reaching 7. Yeah, let me just get that to look closer since my eyes are busted. So yeah, he is about 6.5, not quite 7 actually, 6.5 inches, slightly taller than that. So yeah, he is just slightly bigger than the 6-inch figure, but you'll see later why he can't really be compared next to them. So here he is compared to two NECA Predators. So First reason, outside of the fact that I don't have any other Storm to compare him to, I decided to compare him to these two first, since of course I love the NECA line. Most of y'all that might watch might know that. A common theme I talk about in, especially in NECA Predator videos, is this guy. And not to mention, Predator was a guest character in Mortal Kombat X, so this is really fitting. As you can see, since they fit very well in scale, McFarlane would probably fit slightly better, but they could fit with the Storm collectibles, and you could make some really cool displays with them. So yeah, so now, next comparison. And here he is compared to McFarlane Malefic Spawn, the MK11 one, and Kratos, two of which are once again MK Mortal Kombat guest characters. This guy from MK11, one of Spawn's alternate skins. And if you remember, like I mentioned earlier, MK9 was the big thing, or the big Mortal Kombat game when I started to get into Mortal Kombat. So, here he is next to a Kratos, obviously. Kratos does stand a little taller, but you can make it work. It looks cool. I've tried it before. So, yeah. Now let's compare him to a 6-inch figure that I have nearby. And here he is next to a standard 6-inch figure. And as you can see, he is very much bigger compared to him. That's why I said they wouldn't exactly work with each other in scale. I mean, in pictures you could make it look really, you could make it work, but generally in the display, no. So yeah, so that is it for height comparisons. So let's move on to articulation. So now for articulation, considering this guy is a Storm Collectibles figure, do expect some amazing articulation out of him. So first, this is him looking up. He could look up real well. But make sure if you do make him look up from an angle, not from the front, since you could sort of see the joint being revealed. He could look down really well, and since this is not just one neck joint, there are two, he could look down extremely well. The head could tilt side to side, and he could look from there to there. And his arms could flare out completely. Nothing is being restricted because the gi is a very soft material. The only thing being restricted is basically how much the articulation can take. Hands can go forward, front, and back a bit. I don't really want to force it, but the gi is sort of getting in the way. But since it is soft, you can technically push it all the way. And there is a butterfly joint. Just goes side like that. And then, of course, a bicep swivel. This one is a bit tight on mine, but it is there. Double jointed elbows. And the hand has two articulation points. There's a ball joint at the very bottom, as you saw earlier. And this is just one side rotation, just goes like this, and you could spin it 360. And then now for the torso, I'm not really going to separate them to lower and upper. I'm just going to go both torso movements. So with both torso movements, you could get him to look down all the way. Very nice. The gi, since it is very soft, is not restricted at all. Now going up, and he could also bend back a lot really well. There is a bit of a gap here though, but you could just fix that by just pushing it down, which hides it completely. And could go tilt side to side really well. Most of the articulation is coming from his upper torso though, not much his lower one. And then finally he could also go side to side like this. Now for the legs. Legs can go forward. This is also an extremely soft material, and mine is a bit loose, but that's fine. This is also soft material, like I said, that's why I could kick forward all the way. It could kick back really well as well because of the soft material once again. And there is a thigh swivel, but mine is very tight. And then he could kick outwardly like this. He could basically split on the floor, which is really cool since not a lot of my figures can do that. I've only noticed Storm and some SHF are able to do that, but yeah. And then double jointed knees. No swivel down here though, but then but the ankle makes up for it. It could swivel all the way down like that, up like this, side to side, and spin 360. And this is the only figure I'm not scared to do that to because of how articulatable Storm Collectibles are, which in my opinion makes them one of the best toy companies. And then lastly, it's just this toe pivot. I'm not sure that's what it's called, but a toe movement down there. So yeah, that is it for Scorpion's accessories. Not accessories, articulation I mean. Oh, and yeah, because I am stupid, I forgot about this. Why is that already exposed? Anyway, I forgot to show the part how to put this on during the accessories area, so here we're gonna show it right now. You just sort of wiggle it back and forth, or if it's much newer, you could just sort of snap it off like this. Do be careful since this is a neck peg. The neck peg is also connected down there, and that could, okay, just snap that piece off. Does not matter. But it is also a neck peg down there, so you might accidentally pull it from down there. And in here, you just plug it in like that. Oh god damn it! That moves around a lot. And there you go. Now you got Scorpion's skull on him. Real nice. Now, for my final thoughts, I always ask this question at the end. Is this figure worth it? Absolutely. But do be prepared to face some crazy price tags. This guy, especially on eBay, that's why I never say go to eBay. I got this guy off of a local collectible shop who was selling it for really pricey price, but this thing should go, but never go to eBay. eBay is always the last resort. Find him on like Facebook. He is a very worth it figure, but I wouldn't advise it to non-die-hard collectors since this guy is extremely pricey and rare, and even if he is highly posable and high quality, do be careful with him. He's still a figure. He's still one on the high end stuff, so you still need to be careful with how you move him around. But other than those issues, he is a very nice figure. Just not to put him around. Just don't put him around kids. While he is posable and a lot of articulate points, he can get loose over time with anything, like any figure. And he is still a collectible, so he's still slightly fragile despite being a bit durable. But yeah, I recommend this to die-hard collectors or die-hard fans of Mortal Kombat. But if you're just a casual fan or collector, or both, don't really get him since he is crazy expensive and requires a lot of care. With that being said, he is a worth it figure, and I happily recommend him to any Mortal Kombat collector or fan. So yeah, with that being said, thanks for watching.